Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly people start acting a little weird? One person fixes their hair. Another person starts laughing way too hard at a joke that wasn't even funny. And somebody else keeps looking at you, then quickly looks away like they just got caught stealing cookies. Meanwhile, you're standing there thinking, what is happening? You check your face. No food in your teeth. No toilet paper stuck to your shoe. Everything looks normal. Well, what if the reason people are acting strange isn't because something is wrong with you, but because they actually find you attractive? Now, before somebody jumps into the comments saying, "Not me, nobody finds me attractive," hold on. That's exactly what attractive people often say. One of the funny things about attraction is that the people who get the most attention are sometimes the last people to notice it. Why? Because they're busy living their lives. They're not sitting around with a scoreboard counting who smiled at them today. And that's where Carl Jung had something interesting to say. Jung believed that people often project their feelings onto others without realizing it. In simple words, people reveal what's happening inside them, even when they never say a word. And attraction? Oh, attraction is one of the hardest things to hide. Your mouth can lie. Your body usually can't. So today we're talking about 7 signs people find you attractive, even if nobody has ever told you. And trust me, some of these signs are so sneaky that you've probably missed them your whole life. Let's jump into number 1. Sign 1. People keep looking at you. Okay, let's start with the classic. The look. You know the one. You walk into a room. You feel somebody looking at you. You turn your head. And suddenly they become very interested in the ceiling, the wall, the floor, the weather. Anything except looking at you. It's almost funny. Like their neck suddenly developed super speed. Now here's the thing. People look at things they find interesting. Nobody stares at a blank wall for 10 minutes because they're fascinated by drywall. But when someone finds another person attractive, their attention keeps drifting back, again and again, and sometimes they don't even realize they're doing it. Have you ever caught someone looking at you multiple times? Not once, not twice, but over and over. That's usually not an accident. Now, before everybody gets excited, this doesn't mean every person who looks at you wants to marry you tomorrow. Let's stay calm, but repeated attention is usually a clue, because attraction begins with curiosity, and curiosity begins with attention. Think about it. When you're interested in somebody, you notice them. You notice when they walk in. You notice when they laugh. You notice when they leave. Suddenly you're becoming a part-time detective. You know their coffee order. You know what days they show up. You know their favorite color. You know things you absolutely did not need to know. Attraction turns regular people into investigators, and yes, other people do the exact same thing. So if you often catch people looking at you, then congratulations. You may be more attractive than you think. Sign 2. People laugh harder at your jokes. Let's be honest. Some jokes are funny, and some jokes deserve absolutely no laughter at all. Yet somehow, when somebody likes you, everything becomes comedy. You could say, "I forgot my keys," and they'll laugh like you just performed a Netflix special. You're standing there confused, thinking, was that funny? No, not really. But attraction changes perception. When people enjoy being around you, your words carry more emotional weight. Your presence makes ordinary moments feel more enjoyable. And that's why people often laugh more around someone they're attracted to. Now here's a challenge. Think back. Have you ever made a terrible joke, and one person laughed way harder than everyone else, like suspiciously hard, like they almost needed oxygen? Yeah, that might not have been about the joke. That might have been about you. And let's be real. We've all been there. Someone attractive says something average, and suddenly we're laughing like our rent just got paid. Human beings are funny creatures. We like to pretend we're logical. Then attraction shows up and all logic leaves the building. Sign 3. They remember tiny details about you. This one is powerful, and honestly, it catches people off guard, because attraction isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, very quiet. Imagine talking to someone for 5 minutes. 3 weeks later they say, "How did your sister's exam go?" And you're like, "Hold on. You remember that?" You barely remembered saying it yourself, but they remembered. Why? Because people pay attention to things that matter to them, and when somebody finds you attractive, details become valuable. Suddenly they remember your favorite snack, your birthday month, the name of your dog, your dream vacation, that random story you told one Tuesday at 2:17 p.m. Meanwhile, you can't even remember what you had for breakfast. Attraction has a funny way of improving memory. Not because people are trying, but because interest naturally creates focus, and focus creates memory. So when someone remembers little things about you that everyone else forgets, pay attention. That sign is often bigger than people realize, because attention is one of the purest forms of attraction. Sign 4. People get a little nervous around you. Now this one is hilarious when you start noticing it, because attractive people often think, "Why are people acting strange around me?" Meanwhile, the answer is standing right in front of them. Imagine somebody who is normally confident. They talk smoothly. They seem relaxed. Everything is fine. Then you show up. Suddenly, they drop their phone, forget what they were saying, walk into a chair, say "you too" when the waiter tells them to enjoy their meal. Now they're fighting for their life in a conversation, and you're thinking, what just happened? Attraction happened. That's what happened. When people care about making a good impression, pressure enters the room, and pressure makes people do funny things. Have you ever noticed somebody becoming extra awkward around you? Maybe they talk too much. Maybe they talk too little. Maybe they start telling stories that don't even have endings. You know those stories. They start strong, then somehow end with a squirrel, a parking ticket, and their cousin's neighbor. Nobody knows how they got there, not even them. The point is this: nervousness isn't always a sign that something is wrong. Sometimes it's a sign that somebody suddenly became very aware of your presence, and that's a clue worth noticing. Sign 5. They find reasons to be near you. Okay. Let's have some fun with this one, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. People who are attracted to someone often become masters of coincidence. Suddenly they're everywhere. You go for coffee, they're there. You walk into another room, they're there too. You join a conversation. Guess who magically appears? Them. Now, before anyone says, maybe it's just a coincidence. Sure. Once, maybe, twice, possible, 10 times. Come on. At that point, even Sherlock Holmes would be taking notes. People naturally move toward things they enjoy. It's human nature. When somebody likes your energy, your personality, your presence, they want more exposure to it. Not because they're planning it. Usually it's unconscious. Their brain simply says, "I enjoy being around this person," and their feet follow the instructions. One of the funniest examples is at parties. You ever notice somebody who somehow keeps ending up beside you all night? You move. They move. You switch groups. They switch groups. At this point, you're both basically playing human musical chairs, and no one is saying it out loud. That's attraction working quietly in the background. Sign 6. They copy your behavior. Now we're entering secret agent territory, because most people don't even realize they're doing this. Psychologists call it mirroring. But let's keep it simple. People copy people they like. That's it. You take a sip of your drink. A few seconds later, they take a sip. You cross your arms. Soon they're crossing theirs. You lean forward. They lean forward. It's like your body accidentally became the group leader. Now don't start testing everybody, please. Don't sit at dinner moving around like you're directing traffic. We're trying to make friends here. But once you understand mirroring, you'll notice it everywhere. And here's why it's important. When people feel connected to someone, they naturally begin matching their energy. Their bodies start saying, "We're on the same team," even if their mouth never says it. Jung often talked about how much of human behavior happens beneath conscious awareness, and mirroring is a perfect example. People reveal their feelings through actions long before they reveal them through words. So if someone constantly matches your energy, there's a good chance they feel more connected to you than you realize. Sign 7. People notice changes immediately. This one might be the biggest clue of all, because attention creates awareness, and awareness notices details. Let's say you get a haircut. Nothing dramatic, just a little trim. You walk into work. Most people don't notice, but one person notices immediately, the second you walk in. Did you do something different? How do they know? Are they secretly running surveillance? No, they're paying attention, and attention is rarely random. People who find you attractive tend to notice things other people miss. New hairstyle, new glasses, new outfit, different mood, even small changes in your energy. Sometimes they'll notice things before your own family notices, which is honestly impressive, and maybe a little scary, but mostly impressive. Think about it. How often do you notice tiny details about people you don't pay attention to? Almost never. But when someone matters to you, everything stands out. That's why attraction often shows itself through observation. The more someone notices, the more likely it is that you occupy space in their mind, and that's a powerful sign. Now here's where things get interesting. Most people think attraction is about looks only, but life doesn't actually work that way. Have you ever met someone who wasn't the most beautiful person in the room, yet somehow everybody loved being around them? Of course you have, because attraction is bigger than appearance. It's energy, confidence, warmth, humor, presence, the way someone makes others feel. That's why some people become more attractive every year, not because their face changed, but because their presence changed. They became comfortable with themselves. They stopped chasing approval. They stopped pretending to be somebody else. And strangely enough, that's when people started noticing them more. Jung believed that authenticity has power. People are naturally drawn toward individuals who are comfortable in their own skin. Not perfect people, real people. That's an important difference. Because perfection is intimidating, authenticity is attractive. Before you go, now I'm curious, which sign happens to you the most? Do people keep staring? Do they remember weird little details about your life? Do they suddenly become nervous and start speaking in complete nonsense? Drop your answer in the comments. I read them, and honestly. Some of the stories you guys share are funnier than the videos, and if none of these signs sound familiar, don't worry. Sometimes we're the worst judges of our own attractiveness. The people around us often see things we can't see ourselves. That's just human nature. So don't spend your life waiting for somebody to tell you your value. Sometimes the clues are already there, hidden in the smiles, the attention, the laughter, the little moments people think they're hiding, because attraction rarely announces itself with a giant billboard. Most of the time, it whispers, and if you've been seeing these signs, there's a good chance people notice you a lot more than you think. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and join this amazing community. And remember, the most attractive thing you can be is comfortable being yourself. I'll see you in the next video.